Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and today we're going to be talking about my Call of Duty 2017 wish list. Now, this is a sort of a response video to a video recently posted by Drifter, where he talks about what he hopes to see in Call of Duty 2017. I don't want to spoil the video by any stretch of the imagination, so check it out. There's a link to it down there in the video description, but I'm definitely going to agree and discuss some of his topics here in this video, while of course discussing a bunch of different aspects. I'm mainly going to be focusing on multiplayer here, because as you guys know, I'm a big multiplayer guy. I don't really play a bunch of side game modes. I don't really care too much about the campaign. Multiplayer is my bread and butter, and that's what I want to focus on here in this video. So when it comes to Call of Duty 2017, I'm going to try my best to make this a relatively fast video. I could go on for 3 hours, believe me, just talking about everything to the last detail, but I'm going to try and give you guys the broad strokes here. When it comes to the multiplayer, I want the game to be set in the past at some point. I don't care when. It could be Vietnam, it could be World War II, it could be World War I, it could be literally anything besides a futuristic or a modern setting. I am so tired of both of those settings. Let's go in the past for a little bit. Let's try something different. I mean, the reason why we've had so many modern to futuristic games was back in the day, everything was World War II and it got very boring very quickly. Well, the same things happen for modern and futuristic at this point, in my opinion. Like, I'm so tired of that now. Let's just go back to the past. Let's vary it up. Let's do something different. There has been a lot of speculation that says that COD 2017 is going to be Vietnam. Everybody seems to think that. That's like the go-to thought right now. And I do think that would be awesome, but I do worry that a game solely focused on the Vietnam War, and specifically once America actually started, participating in the Vietnam War, I'm worried that that game might actually be a little bit too limited, right? Because the only COD game that ever had Vietnam featured was, of course, Call of Duty Black Ops, and it was basically Vietnam as well as the Cold War. It had a bunch of different stuff all thrown in there, even some World War II elements, because they wanted to add a lot of variety to the game. And if you really look back at just about every Call of Duty game ever, they really work to vary up the setting. World War II games take you all over the world, from the attacks on Pearl Harbor to the shores of Macon Atoll to the Battle of Berlin or the Battle of Stalingrad. It can take you everywhere. There's so many places, and what's great too is in the multiplayer, when it comes to the weaponry, you have weapons from all of the various Allied and Axis forces. That's why they have so many weapons available to you. I'm worried that a Vietnam game would not be as varied. Of course, there would be a lot of variety. It's not like we're just talking M16s and M14s here, but I don't think it would have nearly as much variety as a World War II game. I suppose the only downside, if you really think about it, to a World War II game would be that a lot of the popular World War II weapons have already been featured in countless games already, so it may not feel as unique or new if they were to be featured in Call of Duty 2017. Just all in all, it's a tricky question. I don't care one way or the other if it's Vietnam, if it's World War II. It's just something that's not modern or futuristic. I really don't care. I just want something to be set in the past. I would prefer a real war, a real conflict of some kind. That's what I'm hoping for with Call of Duty 2017. When it comes to the weaponry, variety is key, right? We don't know the setting. I'm assuming it's going to be in the past at some point, but just know that variety is key when it comes to these games. I want a lot of weapons and a lot of choice. Variety for the sake of variety is good, in my opinion. Like in World at War, we had 4 SMGs to choose from. That's not a lot of variety. I want 10 of them. How about 6 or 7 different sniper rifles with 4 of them being bolt action, just for the sake of variety? Make it so they perform even the same. Just make them look different, because people want variety when it comes to their game, right? Different strokes for different folks. Let the player have choice. And can I just say, though, if the game is not set in World War II, can we have some throwback World War II weapons in our Vietnam era game? Like having a Thompson or a Mosin Nagant or an M1 Garand, which I get that both the Mosin and the M1 Garand were both used in Vietnam, but having a bunch of old school throwback weapons, call them heirlooms, do a similar system to Infinite Warfare. I think it would be pretty awesome if we were to have that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for that. Like here in Modern Warfare Remastered, the MP44 is in the game. It's a World War II gun in a modern game. I love when that stuff happens. So if the game is not World War II, throw in some World War II weapons. It'd be pretty awesome. When it comes to kill streaks, I hope they are score streaks first and foremost. I think score streaks is the best way to do it. I've learned here playing Modern Warfare Remastered that I definitely prefer score streaks over kill streaks. But here's the thing: they need to be tough to earn, and they also need to be rewarding. If you really think about it, the games where Call of Duty tends to sell the best are games where kill streaks are incredibly powerful. Modern Warfare 2 and the original Black Ops were both known for having incredibly powerful kill streaks, right? And Modern Warfare 3, even to a lesser extent, and then you look at Black Ops 2 and its kill streaks, games with big, powerful, rewarding kill streaks do well, and they are actually part of what separates Call of Duty from other games, in my opinion. Not too many other games do a kill streak system well the way Call of Duty does, so embrace that, make them powerful. I want a Blackbird in here, I want chopper gunners. If it's semi-modern, I want AC-130s, right? I want lots of very powerful score streaks in this game. I want powerful stuff, and that is one of the things that actually makes a good Call of Duty, at least in my opinion. Now, here's the thing, though. If we do go back to World War II, it's definitely going to be a bit more difficult to make fun and interesting kill streaks because technology was so limited back in the day. I think there's a reason why we had artillery and dogs back in World at War, but we're going to have to see how that plays out if they decide to go with World War II. When it comes to the perks are pretty much standard, right? I don't really have too much to say when it comes to the perks because if you really think about it, we have pretty much the same perks every single year. They just have different names and they're oftentimes put in different categories. I want the Ghost equivalent of this game because let's be honest, it's going to be in the game. I'd prefer if it wasn't there at all, but if it's going to be in the game, I want it to be in a tier with other powerful perks that makes the choice of choosing Ghost, I want that to be a meaningful and impactful choice. You have to be giving up something good to be able to hide from the UAV. It makes sense, right? I want Flak Jacket and Tactical Mask to be as powerful as they were, or even more so than they were in the original Black Ops. I want there to be a perk that can protect me from snipers, right? Similar to Juggernaut here in Modern Warfare Remastered. I know some people that just makes their butthole clench thinking about that, but honestly, I'm not saying I want to be invincible to snipers. I just want to make it so they have to be accurate and hit me in the upper chest or the head to get a one-shot kill on me, similar to how Juggernaut works here in Modern Warfare Remastered. People think that Juggernaut's like this all-powerful perk. It's only all-powerful against the M40. If you're using like an R700 or a Barrett 50 cal, Juggernaut's not that big of a deal if you can hit them in the upper chest or the head. That's just the very nature of the perk, and that's all I want, really. I'm not saying I want more damage resistance in general or anything like that, just a perk that I have to choose that makes it so I cannot be killed by a sniper unless they hit me in the upper chest or the head. That sounds amazing to me, and I would be willing to give up a lot of very powerful perks to be able to choose that. I honestly might give up Flak Jacket to be able to wear a perk like that if the lobby is full of snipers, because there's nothing more annoying to me. I'm trying not to get long-winded here, but there's nothing more annoying to me than having snipers on the other team who are just being annoying. Like, that's all they're doing. They're not trying to play the objective. Like, just yesterday, I was playing Grind, the new game mode in Infinite Warfare, and there was this sniper on the other team who kept one-shotting me, must have killed me like 7 or 8 times or something like that. He finished the game negative. He scored a total of, I think, like 2 different tags. He wasn't playing the objective at all. He was just running into our spawn, trying to get clips, dying, running back into our spawn, doing that over and over, and I hate when people play like that. They're a detriment to their team. They're annoying, and I would love it if I had a perk that could just counter that style of play, because they should not be rewarded for playing like that in a team-based game mode. Makes sense in my head. I mean, I know I'm outspoken when it comes to snipers in the Call of Duty series, but those are just my thoughts on sniping. I agree with Drifter in that we need to have a ranked playlist similar to League play. Now, I'm not somebody who's super into competitive, but I did play some League play, and everybody seems to agree that League play was awesome, so we need a system similar to that, because there are a lot of people that like to play Call of Duty competitively, and I find it odd that even to this day, people still play game battles. Like, they have to sign up on a third-party website just to state their need for a competitive mode, right? I mean, why don't we just have this built into the game? Why do we need to have all these external things in play? Game battles, of course, is fine. I played a lot of it back in the day, and people still play it to this day, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be nice if we had a competitive playlist and a very good system involved in Call of Duty 2017. I want the game to have weekend warfare events similar to Modern Warfare Remastered, where they're constantly trying out new things, and some of the more popular stuff could actually make it into the standard multiplayer rotation and just be there all the time. I would like there to be timed exclusive challenges and content. Like, for example, every single month, I want a very hard challenge that if you complete it, you maybe get a special camo and stuff like that for your guns that you cannot get after that particular challenge is done, right? Similar to the holiday camos we had for the Winter Crash event, I want there to be events all the time and rewards from those events, and once those events are over, make it so those rewards are gone. Therefore, you know, if I'm playing this game 5 years in the future and I'm using this special camo and somebody sees it and they go, wow, how do I get that cool camo? And they find out it was from this special week-long event back in 2017. That would be awesome. I love stuff like that, and I hope to see stuff like that in Call of Duty 2017 and in Call of Duty games going forward. I want the game to have dynamic weather and day and night cycles in the multiplayer. Goodness gracious, Call of Duty, you are the best-selling game every year for like the past decade. You have the money to do this. It's 2017. Let's make it happen. I want dynamic weather. I want to be able to load in. Let's take Crash as an example. Let's say hypothetically Crash is in this game. I want to load into Crash, and I want it to sometimes be raining. I want it to sometimes be snowing. Sometimes make it morning. Sometimes make it nighttime. I want there to be dynamic weather and dynamic time in your game. That would be awesome. I think you would really take the multiplayer and take it to the next level. I think that is the future of the Call of Duty series, and for some reason, we have not really seen anything like it, and it's kind of disappointing. When it comes to DLC weapons, I am fine with them being in the game as long as we can earn them by playing the game or just buy them directly. I've said it before, but make it so we can buy these DLC weapons directly and have some of that money go to a charity like the Call of Duty Endowment, and I think that Activision will find a lot less people being upset with their business model if we can just purchase stuff directly and knowing that some of it is actually going to go to charity. And I think they will also find that players will actually quite enjoy having new weapons to play with. I think everybody agrees that having new stuff in the game is fun. We just hate the fact that it's locked behind a supply drop system and we need to rely on luck to be able to actually acquire them. When it comes to supply drops, we are inevitably going to have them, right? Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not even pretend. In a perfect world, no supply drops, right? But let's not even pretend that supply drops are not going to be in the game, because they're going to be there. We've had 4 straight games where supply drops are a thing, and all 4 of them have had game-changing content, right? So the system I want for COD 2017, I want it to be similar to Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered in that we actually have in-game currency we can use to basically pick out the things that we want. My hope, though, is that these supply drops will have more meaningful content in them and not just filler, right? We don't need 2,000 titles and emblems. We don't need a bunch of different shirts and sunglasses and stuff like that. We don't need 153 camos 4 months into the game's life cycle. What we need is less filler. We need to have more actual good content in supply drops, and there needs to be something in place to make it so that this content is somewhat permanent. Now, Drifter did mention this in his video. It's annoying how you can spend a bunch of money in Call of Duty these days and have that money basically just go away when a new Call of Duty game comes out. Because let's be honest, most of us don't play the older Call of Duty games, right? When a new game comes out, we typically play the new game. When a game's life cycle is done, we are pretty much done with that game. Occasionally we go back and play, but not nearly to the extent that we did during the game's life cycle. Black Ops 3 is a great example. I spent a lot of money on supply drops in Black Ops 3. I have not played it since Modern Warfare Remastered or Infinite Warfare have come out. I will go back and play eventually, and I'm going to enjoy the stuff that I have in that game, but it isn't really worth it anymore, right? And if you look at other games like Overwatch, I buy skins in Overwatch all the time. Every time there's an event, I spend money, even though I don't play the game a lot, because I know Overwatch isn't going anywhere, and the skins that I bought last Halloween, I can still use them because they're still relevant within that game, whereas that's not the case in Call of Duty. It would be nice if they were to somehow make it so the stuff that we buy, say, in Advanced Warfare will somehow transfer over into Infinite Warfare, or I'm sorry, into Call of Duty 2017. It'd be nice if that were to happen. I don't know how they could do it. It's a very complex system. And of course, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that down there in the comment section below. Speaking of making it so previous stuff is rewarded, it would be pretty freaking nice if we were to be rewarded for playing the previous games, right? Remember back in MW3, you got prestige tokens for having prestiged in previous games. It had people actively going back and buying World at War, or at least renting it, and just playing the game so they could actually go ahead and prestige because they wanted that extra token once Modern Warfare 3 came out. And remember, in your player card, it actually showed you, again, this is back in Modern Warfare 3, it actually showed you what prestiges you were in the previous Call of Duty games. I loved that, right? Because for me, at the time, it showed that I was 10th prestige in COD 4, 10th prestige in World at War, 10th prestige in Modern Warfare 2, and 15th prestige in the original Black Ops. It was pretty awesome to show on my card that I was max rank in every single Call of Duty game. They should do something to reward fans for continuing to support the franchise, right? Because it seems like every game is like its own thing and they don't really tie in together in any way. It'd be cool if they were to reward fans in that way. As Drifter mentioned in his video, the servers need to be improved, right? Modern Warfare Remastered before the update was a freaking nightmare. Let's be honest here. Like, I love the game, and my blind nostalgia it carried me through those months. It really did, because I was so annoyed shooting first and still dying, having them not seeing me shooting on their screen and dying around corners and stuff like that. It was horrible, right? And that really goes to show that the Call of Duty servers need upgraded. Now, of course, the servers for Modern Warfare Remastered were upgraded, but even then, they're not nearly as good as other FPS games out there. And Drifter said it best: it'd be awesome if we had full dedicated servers, no weird, wonky hybrid system or anything like that, but full dedicated servers that have at least 60 hertz, right? We're not asking for like the greatest thing in the world, just 60 hertz. That'd be pretty freaking awesome. When it comes to extra content, obviously I want zombies, but extra stuff is welcome as well. Remember the survival modes back in Modern Warfare 3? Bring stuff like that back again. When it comes to the idea of weekend warfare, make sure you're doing lots of extra fun and interesting things. Like, we don't have to have specifically things that are only for the multiplayer, right? We can have weird weekend warfare things that are tied into zombies, or like survival modes and stuff like that, where you have to work with people, or like a Call of Duty Left 4 Dead style of a mode where you're kind of like going map to map and stuff. There's lots of cool things they could do. Extra content is obviously always going to be a good thing. And when it comes to DLC maps, I want them to go over the top. I know that some people don't like this. They want their game to be realistic, but honestly, if you're playing Call of Duty, you're not playing the game for realism. Let's be frank about that. But when it comes to DLC maps, I want them to go over the top. Like, I want all the standard maps to make sense with any context, any canon, and the lore of the game. Sure, that makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to DLC, go over the top with it. Like in Black Ops 2, when we had a freaking skate park, that was awesome. Grind was an awesome map. In Black Ops 3, when we had, what was the name of that map? Splash? Or it was a water park, right? That was a really fun map. In Black Ops 1, where suddenly we're like on some freaking ice block in the Arctic, like, just take us crazy places with DLC maps. I love it when they do that. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. That's what I hope to see when it comes to DLC maps. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the end of the video. This video has gone on already way longer than I wanted it to, and believe me, I could make like a 3-hour long video just breaking everything down to the last detail, but honestly, it wouldn't make that much sense to do that, because most of that stuff would not be featured in the game. I wanted to give you guys the broad strokes. Those are the things I hope to see in the multiplayer. I want it to be past tense. I want it to be World War II, Vietnam, or just somewhere that is pre-modern, right? I don't want it to be a modern or a futuristic game. I want there to be a wide variety of weapons with some nice throwbacks. Make an entire heirloom system. I don't care. Just call them heirloom weapons. Bring back Tommy guns. Bring back Mosin Nagants and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty freaking cool. I want the kill streaks to be big and powerful and impactful, but at the same time, I want them to be difficult to earn, so not just everybody can be calling in support stealth bombers, right? We learned that back in Modern Warfare 3 that's a terrible idea. I want perk choices to be impactful and meaningful choices. I want people to have to really think, if I'm going to be running Ghost, I'm giving up a lot to be able to run Ghost. You know, I want there to be, you know, very impactful decisions to be made when it comes to your creative class. I want there to be a lot of fun DLC maps. I want supply drops to actually be fair. I want to be rewarded for playing previous Call of Duty games. Basically everything I went over here in this video. Once again, this was inspired by Drifter's COD 2017 wishlist video. There's a link to that down there in the video description. I would highly recommend it. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below, and what do you hope to see in Call of Duty 2017. Now, we don't need every last detail, but the broad strokes would be nice. Just give us, you know, what do you want? What tense of a war? What kind of weapons do you want? What kind of a kill streak system do you want to see in the game? Stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Drop me a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.